a lot of the psychology was taught as we were driving along 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 hours a day. You know, we talk about ideas, you know, gimmicks and characters. What if we did this? And, you know, just hypothetically thinking about how to become better.
The business has gotten so where it's so spotty. You know, like the business is real spotty, and that's just, I mean, it's nobody's fault. It's just, I think it's just the evolution of what's happened. But
Elix Skipper, it was just a match. It wasn't even the fucking finish. It was not even the, right? Am I correct? Wasn't even the fucking finish. Biggest move in the thing, wasn't even the fucking finish. And nobody thought about it twice later, because I used to tell Elix, I go, you have to work on your psychology and storytelling, you know, work on your character. He's like, oh, I got to work on the moves. I'm like, you have a million moves. You don't need any more. You know, and even if you did want more, you could think of them in your spare time. You want to.
And then there's the storyline telling. There's learning how to work the audience. There's all those things that figure in, where the cameras are. I mean, for these guys out there, there's a lot more than just doing high spots. And they think, oh, I know all these high spots. I saw it on TV. I can do that, so I can be a wrestler.
Oh, I hate that. Yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah, you know, like Ring of Honor, for instance, they play to their fans, which is great. You know, I won't argue with that. But in terms of, you know, people who base their matches on high spots and stuff like that, like, don't even get me started on that. You know what I mean? That's not working. That's not working. You know what I mean? That's a problem.
Yeah, you know, you need to keep your hands up more. You know, reality based.
And it's up to us when we're telling a story to just make it as coherent as possible. And again, and now in the WWE, this is something even I'm learning, relearning again. You know, this is all within the last 5 years. Agents are telling wrestlers to act, you know, with the UFC and stuff, act more realistic. Like if you're getting those 10 punches in the corner, or if you're getting a barrage of shots, you know, you wouldn't just sit there and take them and sell and stuff like that. You'd get your hands up and you would try to defend. So always try to think of that when you're putting together a match, because that kind of psychology really differentiates you. And if you're an average wrestler, that'll make you a great wrestler. And if you're a great wrestler, that'll put you through the roof, and that'll be, you know, that'll be what it takes to get you to that next level. Because psychology will take you a complete other step up. Because I've seen great wrestlers not make it because there was a lack of psychology. And I've seen, you know, mediocre wrestlers make it because they had psychology.
If you're an established heel, okay, this is what kills off a lot of people, and they don't realize it. This is what happened to Luger. Lex Luger was a heel. He was a hot heel. As soon as they made a babyface turn, what was he doing? Yep. Okay, all right. You know, high-fiving everybody, smiling, all this. He killed himself off right there. He lost every bit of credibility he had. When they flipped me to Hardcore Holly and I became a heel, I never changed back. I still, even though I was a babyface, I still wrestled as a heel. You don't really cower it off. You know, you really don't do all this. You know, you still wrestle as a heel, but you're a babyface. As soon as you start high-fiving people and holding babies and petting kids and all this, you can forget it. You can fucking forget it.
I can stay here and just shoot Cannon here. There we go. I don't know how you taught, but if I'm here, if I have him and we're here already and we go here, by the time I pick up, I can catch him here. Yeah, it's still, you're closing the door. I'm not going to wait out. He's doing it from the middle. There's no reason to go back, right? I don't know what would be the reason to take him back. And I'm just asking you. I'm not criticizing. I'm not, it's one of the, so for us old lazy people, why do I want to take you all the way back so I got to run flip back way over here? Why? Why can't we just go in the half?
The first thing that struck me with the wrestler was when I first broke in, it was like all the old timers from the Gorgeous George era. Mm-hmm. And that's the first thing that struck me. And they were coarse, hard teachers. The one thing that Mickey did, and I don't know how he did this, as you see us sitting around here, When he was outside the ring, somehow he picked up he was gentle all the time. We're all pretty gentle.
Lock it in. Wrench it on. Let me see some pain. No, 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 you moron. I don't believe you're in any pain. This, gentlemen, shut up, I'm talking. This is pain. This, you'll make them believe. And you gotta make them believe. Get in the ring. But you're whining. You gotta make them believe that the ballet is real. Like you're near death. Something's about to snap, and they want to hear it. Your body has to tell the story. Your mouth has to tell the story. But more importantly than anything, your eyes must tell the story. You gotta make them believe the unbelievable. Or if you don't, you're doomed to the land of the pancake slug. What's a pancake slug, you might ask? That, gentlemen, is a pancake slug.
Yes, what is the hardest thing for a young wrestler to grasp?
The psychology of it. You know, that's and it's so simple. People make things harder than they are, you know. Anybody can learn a dance routine. You know, with enough work, you can become a gymnast. Or you can run a mile, or you can be a shot putter with enough work. But learning how to grasp the psychology that's in that ring and learn how to make love to a match, that's the key. Okay. And most people haven't got a clue, and most people won't ever have a clue.
Explain to the people that are watching this what exactly is wrestling psychology, in case they don't know.
Well, to me, it's pretty simple. It's like making love, man. I mean, you want to take somebody and start a match. Your match starts when you walk out the dressing room. It doesn't start once the bell rings. It's already started. It's the way you present yourself. It's the way your character is portrayed. It's the way that you walk, the way that you breathe, the way that you smile. Everything that you do is a part of it. And that's what happens today is most people are doing the big things, but nobody does the little things. A wrestling match should be, to me, it's like making love, man. Hopefully you don't start off with a big shot and it's over and smoke your cigarette and then try to have a match because it's done. You want to take these people on that roller coaster, an emotional roller coaster, man, with its ups and downs and in-betweens. It's level time, it's down time, then back to the peak and explode this damn thing and make it happen, man. Just basically like an orgasm, man. You want to pop that nut at the last, folks. That's key. Don't do it up front.
And there were just spots of running around and doing finishing moves. Now, a finishing move is the finish. In other words, if you do a neck breaker, in logic, reality, the neck breaker is the end of the match. You don't get back up and run through some other moves again, like Superman, because in reality, a neck breaker will break your neck. So think about that. It's the psychology in the match that makes the match work. It's not how many things you can do. For example, you don't get out there and just run crazy and say that I had a wrestling show. If you're new in the business, you take it slow. For example, if you're learning to drive a car, you wouldn't get on the freeway or a racetrack and race the car, unless you're crazy. And you don't do the same thing in the ring. When you learn to drive, you learn to stop, you learn to start, you learn to turn, you learn to park, you learn to turn the wheel. When you get in the ring to wrestle, you also learn the basics. You learn how to bump forward and backward. You learn how to run the ropes. You learn how to do holds, which wrestling's made of. I mean, wrestling began with holds and wrestling collegiate style. Then they took it into the bigger moves. So think about those things. When you email me and you say, why aren't you guys jumping off the top rope? Because that's not wrestling. That's saved for TV, for spectacular moves when it's necessary, and not everybody can do it. The big guys can't do it. They're too heavy and they can't get up to flip off. There's an exception. There's a few that can.
It's like at TNA Impact Wrestling, where we work now. You know, I'll see guys, there'll be a TV match which is 4 or 5 minutes long, and I'll see the guys at noon, and they're talking about it. I'll see them at 2 o'clock, and they'll be talking about it. Then I'll see them in the ring, and they're, you know,
Still talking about it.
no, they're actually walking in slow motion, reversing this and ducking that. And I'm going, you know, and to me, it's like, what if that doesn't work? You know, are you going to keep doing it anyway? You know, now that you've talked about it all day. And for me, it's always been different. Like when I would ask you know, Andre the Giant. I said, hey boss, what are we gonna do out there? He goes, don't worry, I'll tell you. I got it. No problem. But that's how, you know, that's how I was taught to wrestle. They tell me the finish, who was gonna win or lose, that was it. And, you know, and I've always had a problem with that, but I understand it now because camera angles, you need to know when somebody crashes and burns on the floor so you can go to commercial, or if there's something really spectacular going to happen, somebody goes to the table, you don't want to miss the camera shot. I get that. But the actual talking about every single move and step, 2 steps, block the punch, 3 more steps, duck the clothesline, move on the elbow, 2 drop kicks, scoot out, pull me out, round the pole, I'll push you, you move, duck, bang. You know, it just, to me, it's not feeling it. It's not the art form, you know. And the last time I wrestled in Toronto, you know, I had a little bit of a situation like that with The Rock. And there was a lot of stuff that was talked about, you know, before the match. And I'm, man, you know, what if things were different? It doesn't work out. And there was pretty much a battle plan. And as soon as we got out there, you guys screwed all that up. Hey, as soon as we got out there and you guys started cheering for me and booing him, I went, holy smokes. You know? So it took me about 10 minutes to switch gears and grind some meat and calm him down. And he's so, The Rock's so unbelievable in the ring that, man, he's like his dad, man. He's just like, he can turn on you on a dime. It took us a couple minutes to get it right because you guys kind of screwed us up, but everything turned out great. But that's one of those times where we actually did talk about stuff that just didn't feel right here. And thank God The Rock was so good that, you know, once I switched gears, he switched with me, and it worked out perfectly. You know, the main thing is, you know, the art form. And things have changed so much, you know. And actually, back in the day, it was a lot of headlock, takeovers, working wrestling holds, and there wasn't a bunch of high spots and jumping around and kicking a guy 45 times in the corner, which doesn't mean anything. And it's basically, you know, that old school mentality, the Canadian wrestlers, you know, pretty much stuck with it. You know, the Rick Martels, the Rougeaus, you know, the Dino Bravos. If the crowd got bored or you heard like a boring or something, the Canadian guys would go back to the basics and grab a hold and hang on and pull the guy down and hang on and pull the guy down. And finally the building would start rumbling. And a lot of that art form was lost in the States, but, you know, the guys from, you know, especially the guys that I knew from Toronto and Quebec and Montreal, they all went right back to the basics. That was the main difference. They weren't a bunch of high spot guys. They knew how to, you know, get a bunch of heat and get everybody pissed off, how to get everybody rumbling, and then just blow the roof off the place. So they kind of really went back to the way I was trained back in the 70s, you know.
If you've ever seen any of my work, you're not going to learn not one hold from me. You just won't. It's not my thing. I'm not a technical guy. I'm just not. But I make everything that I do mean something. I don't just hit you in the face just to be hitting you in the face. I don't just kick you just for, because I punch and kick. That's all I do. I've got to get back to, I don't like you, but I love her. So you have to tell me that story. It's storytelling. Yeah, if we do a month-long program, yeah, towards the end or the middle, story gets easy to tell, but you got to tell it to me from the get-go. Got to tell me a story. You have to. And the simplest story to start off with is, I'm better than you, and I'm going to beat you, right? One of us is trying to win, right?
Who here feels that they could explain a basic match? Raise your-
I mean, that's part of it, sure.
But what's the
next part of the match after the shine?
Yes. I think the wrestling has always gone, babyface shine, heel gets heat, babyface makes a comeback. No, I don't think it's that. I think what it is the heel gets frustrated, the heel gets heat, and the babyface makes a comeback. I think it's been stated wrong forever, and because it's been stated wrong forever, I think that heels never show frustration anymore. When you watch matches on TV, do you ever see the heel getting frustrated during the shine? No, they just do a bunch of spots that the babyface goes, you know, is more successful in. And then the heel, there's what's going on to the audience. I mean, well, to everybody, but then there's also what's going on in their heads. And how do we get what's going on in our heads to the audience? Yes, expand on it. facial expressions and body language. It's like when you're talking to a girl and you're like, hey baby, and she's like, yeah, and you're like, oh, that's a no. We told a story that led to this moment in time.
You look at the matches of the guys that actually steal the manias, it's never the guys that do it. It's always the guys that tell a story. And, you know, I don't know how many of you guys watch WrestleMania, but Shawn Michaels played such a pivotal part in what he did just on facials. Like the story that he told, and of course you've got to know how to tell that story, and you've got to be able to tell that truck that at this point make sure you catch my facial because I'm going to be doing this, and you to tie all those pieces together. And that's the thing is a lot of guys are incredible technicians, but they just haven't learned. You know, I guess the old saying was, "Don't work harder, work smarter." You know, we're pro wrestlers, and what we do, the art of what we do is it's a work.
What do you feel that is more important, the actual psychology or the selling in a match, the finish, or taking bumps in a match?
Bumps evidently to me mean nothing. Taking a bump at the right time is the key thing. Less is more. If you do things properly in a match, there shouldn't be many bumps. There should be some damn wrestling. The problem today is not many people know how to sell. Their thought of selling is dying. They lay there like a blivet for 30 seconds or a minute, and they jump up like nothing's ever happened to them and explode, which destroys the whole thing that you've worked for. I mean, every minute that you've wasted in that ring is wasted time because you just blown it. You called yourself a liar. When you destroy your credibility about what you're doing, you don't get it back. People buy a ticket to see wrestling, but if you abuse that trust and you abuse the thought of, hey, I bought a ticket to come to a wrestling show, I want to be convinced it's real. That's what people really want. They want to get lost in it. They want to escape from their own lives, man. That's what it's all about. So if you go out there and you call them a complete freaking idiot by doing something that's insane or stupid, then you've destroyed your own credibility and you don't gain it back. For instance, if you've got a girlfriend and you've been with her for 10 years, or a wife, and you've never cheated on her, but say that 10th year, you know, whatever happens, and you go back to her and you say, you know, baby, we've been married 10 years, together for 10 years. I never cheated on you until last night. And I'm here to tell you that was the first time. Does she believe it was the first time? Hell no, she don't, man. You destroyed your credibility. And the same thing with a wrestling fan. That fan is sitting there and wanting to see what they bought a ticket for, and wanting to escape, and wanting that moment, or those minutes to be lost and to be a part of it, to be the one that helps you win the match, or to be the one that voices their opinion and motivates you to do something in that ring. Once you take that away from them, what do they have left? Nothing. Nothing. You just took their ticket, tore it up, and threw it in their face and said, fuck you, I don't care. And that's what guys do today. They go out there and do 50 moves, and they mean nothing. They mean nothing. That's what's sad.
I guess as far as today in wrestling, what do you think some of the missing ingredients are, or intangibles that the indie wrestlers are not doing?
Learning how to sell. Learning how to sell. Learning how to have a match without doing 50 damn things. Less is more. I mean, who's tough in this situation? Lex Luger clotheslines a guy 9 times. The guy gets up 9 times. Who's tough? Neither one of you, because both of you are liars. And those 2 guys have just destroyed their fan credibility. The fan says, Luger, you're a big phony piece of shit. If you hit a guy 9 times with a clothesline and he gets up, the guy that's went down 9 times, what are you doing going down 9 times if you can get back up from each one of them? You should never went down the first time. So there. That's what's happening today. Everybody thinks that it's, well, if I do 50 moves, I'll be the best. No, you're just stupid. Give me a guy that can go out there and do 3 moves and have the people coming in the ring after him are mad. That's psychology. To make them want to come in there and kill you, or make them come in and want to love you by doing less, and by doing it properly, and by getting the most out of everything. I mean, if you take a the best steak in the world and you cover it with dog shit and you cook it, guess what? It's probably going to taste like dog shit. But that's what people are doing today. They think that they can go out there and do page 31, page 67, page 26. Well, I never had pages to look at. And you have to have rhyme and reason to anything. I mean, let's think about it. If it's a movie plot, you go out and you develop a storyline. These guys aren't developing a storyline. They're going out there and doing 35 different moves and the same thing to each other, and none of them mean anything. And then they get beat by the almighty, most dangerous tool in wrestling, the small package. You know, wait a minute. He went through 3 tables. He got hit with a baseball bat. He got a sledgehammer shoved up his ass, and he gets beat by a schoolboy finish. Oh my God, the deadly schoolboy has taken out another top wrestler.
Now with the music, the explosions, you know, well, after all that ends, now the guys, they're lost they have a script, they memorize everything, and then half the time they're lost. They don't know what to do. And that's the school we came from. Like he said, you know, it wasn't even music, and you walked out and you felt, you know, you had your goosebumps because you felt the vibration of the crowd, and that's what told you where to start and how you were going to go. And we were able to take and manipulate those people in the crowd, whether it be 1,000 people or whether it be 90,000 people, and you could feel the crowd, and you were able to take those people and take them up, and then take them up more, and then take them up, and then bring them back down a little bit, and then bring them back down a little more, and then bring them back up, and it was such an art. It was so much fun.
Gone, man.
to take that crowd and just at will, and there's a lot of the greats if you by watching them and you could see how they can manipulate the people, and then there was some guys that just never got it. They never got it. They just couldn't. You know, they could go out there and do a dive off the top and do a spectacular move, and the people cheered, but they didn't really have the psychology of telling the story and really getting into those people's minds. And that was the whole difference. That's real art of our business.
You have to entertain them. They're the ones that get you over, not you. You do, but it's not you, it's them. It's them. As soon as they all, like you, guess who's over? You are. Not all that moves and stuff. Yeah, you're going to do some fancy stuff and they're going to go, yeah. You're going to get, yeah, but you ain't going to get the, oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? That's just how it works, right? They all think that because they do flips and all this other crazy stuff, and people go, oh God, they go, that's a reaction. No, you ain't heard a reaction until you get it down. When you hear a reaction, you'll go, oh, that's the reaction you're talking about.
If I'm down selling, okay? If I'm the baby face and the heels got me down, stay down. Let him go do his thing. You know, it's like, come here for a second. If I beat you down, boom, beat you down, beat you down. Walk away. Let him sell.
But basically, it's wrestling, it's working the crowd, it's getting to know your character, it's getting to know who you are, and trying to get the most out of that match. For example, if you see a Clint Eastwood film, Clint Eastwood's a big star. He doesn't have to do much in the movie to make an impression that he's a badass. He looks at you, he gives that look, he says, go ahead, make my day, and you know he's going to kick ass. Well, it's the same thing in wrestling. If you have the look and you can generate an interest in people to want to see you because you're a good character, you don't have to do that much. You can do 2 or 3 things and it's done. So when you watch my videos, you'll see that's what I'm trying to imply, that less is more. You wouldn't sit down at a buffet and stuff yourself in 5 minutes or you'll throw up. And you wouldn't do it to an audience either. You don't give them everything you know in 5 minutes and they don't digest it. And plus the fact, if you do everything you know on a match, what are you going to do the next time you come out to be even better? Save a little bit for the next time, save a little bit for the time after that. I like to refer to old school wrestling because that's where this thing originated. This is what packed the houses. In the Olympic Auditorium down here, they had a big show, 27,000 people, and they did nothing but go around the ring and work in a hold. Freddie Blassie and John Tolas. These people put in a lot of time to build wrestling into what it was. There was a kayfabe, which meant there was no discussion outside the ring what we did in the ring. It was a secret like magic and illusion. People were believers. We made them believers. Today, people don't believe it because what you see on TV, they don't know how to sell. They get punched 6 times and they keep running through them. It's impossible. Someone hits you in the face hard, you're going to go down. You're not going to get up. Use the same thing when you practice your wrestling. Sell it. Selling is the biggest key. The more sympathy you can get as a baby face, and the more the heel looks bad, the more it means when you come back and beat the hell out of the heel. So take into consideration these things. These are really important facts to know about wrestling.
You know, by taking those people on that ride again, it's right back to the same thing. It's simple, man. You start out with the match starting, and you build that match, man. You know, and as you get through the match, the good guy is going to be supposedly out wrestling the bad guy. The bad guy gets desperate, he gets confused, he gets angry because he's not getting up on top of this situation. So now he starts to cheat. Once he starts to cheat, the good guy's going to fire back on him a little bit. When he fires back on him, the bad guy's got to cut him off now by some underhanded trick. People today go out and do things right in front of the referee, and you must have authority in there to have a good and bad guy. Let me ask you a question. If a policeman is standing next to a sniper, and this sniper is shooting kids in the parking lot, and the policeman's got a gun on him, who are the people really going to be mad at? The sniper or the cop?
Cop.
Damn right. He's not doing his job. How many times does having heat on the referee draw you any money? None. Not unless you have a referee versus wrestler match, and thank God there's not many of those. Can't say never because we've been to Tennessee and we know what happens there. We're men are men, and well, never mind.
If you punch another man in the face 5 times and then y'all run a spot, that's not believable. I don't believe you. Right? And I don't believe that you can jump off the top of this, y'all do some upside down 370 pile driver, somebody get a cover and get up and start running either. That shit's unbelievable too. Or just do something. Power slam somebody the right way. Cover them, kick out, and then just get up and start running around. Nothing believable about that. Right? But if I punch you and you go down and sell the shit out of it, and I go, yeah, I'm the best, look at that. And we take time and people go, oh, get up and kill him.
It wasn't until I came in, and I'm not taking all the credit because Tommy deserves 50% of the credit because he worked his ass off. But, but because I decided I was going to be a stone cold heel, and at the time, Paulie thought heels and baby faces were passe. He thought that the business was changing. But it's never going to change because you have to have baby faces and heels to tell a story. Because you can't build a drama without a baby face and a heel.
And so, I mean, the business has changed, but it's you guys that have to, somebody has to change it from just a bunch of spots to telling stories again, because there's a reason why the old timers are still, there's a reason why a 52-year-old guy can still come back in the business and get another run. It's not, it sure as hell isn't because I'm athletic. Sure as hell because I can do something off the top rope. I'm not going to have a luchador match. I mean, you pretty much know I'm going to do 5 fucking moves. And that's if I do 3 of them fucking 5 times. I mean, it's like, what do you got? Big boot, shit in the corner, sidewalk slam, choke, I'll give you snake eyes. I'm pretty much out of shit. I mean, it wasn't like, it wasn't like I worked an arm for fucking 15 minutes or any of that. Back in the day, I'd be more than happy to grab the bear hug. Until they call you, in the old days, when you grab bear hug and immediately go into the boring.
Who did you learn the most from in professional wrestling? What's one single talent wrestler, do you think you learned the most from?
Without a doubt, it had to be Hunter. He basically pounded on me for about 8 years, because when I first started, I was, a lot bigger and didn't have any injuries, and I was pretty crazy in the head, and actually thought I could beat him, which was insane. And, I spent so much time in Japan with it. The wrestling was different over there. And he pretty much beat on me until I started listening, And it took me about 8 years of getting tortured by him before I kind of like, okay, I get it. You know, I'm pretty thick-headed, but I understand. You know, he pretty much taught me, you know, how to really paint a picture and just really listen to the crowd, you know when to look and turn and react. And I learned that from him, you know, because he just kept saying, slow down. And I thought I was crawling, and he'd go, slow down. And every time I'd slow down, it'd start rumbling in the building, and it would get more intense. But I think I learned more from Andre than anybody about timing and instinct, really listening to what these people want to see out there.
And maybe Andre telling you to slow down was his way of saying, look, you got to let the crowd react, let the crowd tell you what you need to do next, don't rush into it, which is what you were talking about just a few moments ago.
That's it.
Who would you think was the best seller you've been in the ring with?
There's too many great ones I was out there with. Steamboat was very good. There's been some great ones.
How would you actually, go ahead.
Too many great ones.
How would you actually go into a match and build a drama?
I just what I told you, by establishing who is good, who is evil, and then having him, if I was to be the baby face, having him do some underhanded things, the hair pulling. Who pulls hair anymore? Who pulls tights anymore? When's the last time you seen a guy work a hold and somebody reach down and grab the tights? What they do it so damn quick you don't see it. You know, if you do it properly, just the threat of going for him and looking around and saying, oh my God, he's going to do it, you got to build that anticipation. You don't do it so quick that half the people in the building didn't see it. You got to show it to them, man. We are giving them a product, and you got to put it out there on open hands and say, okay, here it is. Here's where we're going with this. We got the good guy, the bad guy. Jake's going to go out there and do 2 or 3 moves, almost hook the DDT, slide. The guy's going to get away. Oh, my God, he almost had him. Finally, the heel gets desperate. He cheats. He pulls hair. He punches. He kicks. He does all horrible things. Choking. Gets you to the ropes. Won't break in time. But only if he breaks at the count and respects authority is there heat. That's where guys don't do it today. They just do what they want to. The hell with the referee, they don't pay attention. If you respect authority, and then as the authority turns his back, then you start sneaking up on the guy against, like, you no good son of a bitch. And the first thing I'm going to say, referee, is a heel. Referee, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I lost my mind. Oh, my God. Thank you for not disqualifying me. Get on my knees and beg him not to disqualify me. Then as soon as he turns his back, I'm going to smile like I didn't mean a fucking word I just said. I'm going to go rape this guy now. You know what I'm saying? That's how you get heat. Not by going out there and pulling out a sledgehammer and banging him in the head 3 times and hoping the plastic doesn't break.
I'd come over and walk over, and then I'd just grab somebody by the hair. And I'd just sit there and look around. And now I'm building time, and now we're going to learn about time, not space. That's later. Now I'm building time, okay? I'm taking my time. I'm allowing the drama to build. Now it's even more dramatic. You don't have to hold on because you're beat up. So he kicks his ass a little more. Fuck you, bang, bang, booby. All right? Now, maybe now he goes out and looks at the crowd and goes, see, look what I did to your stupid baby face. Ha ha, yay, me. In the meantime, the baby face is selling, getting his sell on, and the heel hits his pose. Yay, I fucking rock.
This is 200, right? You don't get to set us up. We get to go by what we see. And as we're sitting here, and we go, yay, we go, oh, you're in trouble. He's from down here, he looks 10 feet tall, right? And you're 5 feet tall. And you like go this, right? We're gonna sit up. Come on. Don't put your hand down because I'm gonna step on your hand. Okay, come on up. Don't put your hand down. Don't put your hand down.
Don't put your hand down. Good.
Yeah?
Yep.
You good? Here we go. Oh, come on. Don't put your hand down. Oh, shoot me off. Oh. Woo. Go down. Ready? Here we go. There you go. See that? How easy that is? Yeah, don't use your hand. Too much going on, and you're just being a heel, so which isn't bad. That's not a bad thing. And then we do all this super kicking stuff, and you want to buzz him, hey, catch me off the top in there. Cover him. Tell him when you're covering him. Let him kick out. Then all of a sudden you go, oh my God, now what do I have to do? Go up there. He knows what's coming. If they ain't on board, don't touch each other. And if they're making a lot of noise, don't touch each other. If they're making a lot of noise and you touch each other, guess what they're going to do? Stop making noise. So if they're chanting or whatever, let them chant. Egg that shit on, especially if you're a baby face. And as soon as they quit making noise or the noise goes down, then go work. Be the heel. Boo-hoo. That's rotten. Anybody can do that. Anybody can do that. But if you can tell me you're a heel without doing anything, that's art in itself right there. Right, there's just something that you have to get them by the time. It starts from curtain, it don't start here when we lock up. What's the first thing other than the curtain, what's the first thing we see when we get in here? Yes, please. Please lock up. If you lock up and just throw your hands on each other, I don't know how that, if you're trained that way or not. If you do that, I'm gonna shit myself. Lock-ups, the very first, especially guys, that's a big thing for me.
I remember God running to this town where we used to run that old Civic Center. It's, you know, I don't know if it's still around here or whatever, but is it torn down? Yep. That old one? And, you know, the Philadelphia crowds were just brutal. It was like doing stand-up on a cruise ship. I mean, it was just, God, and it was one of those things, man, there's nothing worse on earth than being put in a position where, like, you look the part, but you suck, and you know you suck, and you're green. And this is back when they would send the referee back and forth. You had a heel locker room and a babyface locker room. So like you couldn't, you know how it is nowadays. Like I would sit in the locker room now, and like I'd have an anxiety attack because I'd be like, they're just talking a mile a minute. Like right there, I'll take a breath, and I'm like, dude, I don't remember what I had for breakfast. Like I would just sit there in those six-mans, and I just sit there and I go, excuse me, you, tell me when I'm coming in. And hey, Mrs. You're coming in there. I go, okay, let me just get that. Because I know they're not going to deviate from it, you know, but you know what you do? You go out there with a bunch of guys that can't call and work and go out there and purposely fuck some shit up. Go out there and fucking look at a guy and go, where are we? And then look at you and go, fuck, well, you've just taken my timing away. We were supposed to do this, but now we can't, and now I'll call something. What, you don't have anything? I'll cut you off. Boom. Where was that second set of heat from? I got lost. He didn't have anything. I cut him off. You know?
So you're really good because the guy punches him in the head. And punches him in the head. Now the guy's leaning on the ropes and he punches him in the head. And then he punches him in the head again. And again. And the guy's just like, fucking shoot me off. Because the guy's not even registering him anymore because he keeps thinking, next one I'm going to be shot off. Next one I'm going to be shot off. But he's not going to be shot off because the guy's busy hitting him. And to me, the least amount of punches you can throw, the better. Because let's face it, people watch MMA. They know punches fucking can knock you out.
But there wasn't enough stuff done by him to you for me to see you do all that to him. Because I guess because I didn't hate him enough. I don't like you, but I didn't like him enough for what you unloaded on him. Does that make more sense?
Let me tell you something about the crowd. These people right here, they want to interact with you guys, okay? The more you interact with them, that's why they're here. They want to interact, they want to feel connected to you. Because if you interact with them, that's going to help get you over too. So if he's down selling, boom, 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 I go over here, blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah, okay. You know, then once they start getting on you, you've almost got them. Come back over here. He starts to fight back. He starts blasting me back. Come on. He starts shoots me to the corner. I'll give you a boot. Back down. That's because that's what you caused right there. The way I do it, again, I'm Mr. Realistic here. I walk up, boom, pop his arm real quick. Because then because like you see him popping your arm, because a lot of people will go, boom, and then just right here. Which there's nothing wrong with that, don't get me wrong. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. To me, everybody up there. That's who you want to work for. Everybody up there. You don't want to work for these people. You want to work for everybody up there. Okay? Everybody needs to see everything. You lock up. Okay? Walk up.
I guess what, in your mind, what is the difference between a good and a bad finish? And give some examples.
Oh God. A good finish is one that works. A bad one is one that doesn't work. You know, I mean, that's pretty simple there. I mean, any finish can work if it's been built properly, whether it be a small package or a schoolboy or, I mean, for instance, Tim Horner, I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah.
Tim Horner, when he came to Georgia Championship Wrestling, I mean, here's a guy that weighs 195 pounds. I put him on television and had him wrestle Hawk the Road Warrior. And he beat Hawk with a roll-up.
Right.
His whole thing was, I'm not as big, I'm not as strong, but by God, if I get behind you, I'm going to roll you. He might roll guys up 4 or 5 times in a match, and he'd finally get that win. That becomes a good finish now, because we painted a story here saying, hey, this guy is not the toughest guy, this guy is not the strongest guy, he's not going to overpower anybody, but he can wrestle. So now he's going to fight this big guy. Now, if he goes out there and tries to Jericho it, and blow it, Jeriblow, that's why I was, you know, because this guy has got a tremendous amount of talent, but he wants to go out and outdo whoever he's wrestling at their character. If he's wrestling Van Damme, he wants to go out and out super kick him. If he's going to wrestle Rhino, he goes out and tries to overpower Rhino, and I've seen him do it. Why are you doing that? Stay within your character. Do what you're supposed to be doing. Tim Horner, he'd slide down the angle for roll up, and people go, oh, because he's established the fact. That's a good finish. A bad finish would be if Tim Horner went out and press slammed Hawk, because he would just like, what the fuck is that shit? I can't believe that. That's a bad finish. When the people cannot buy it, that's a bad finish. Such as a sledgehammer. Who the hell buys that shit? My God. Please, I'm begging you. You know?
That's true.
Hardcore or hard bore? You know? Yeah.
I mean, the DDT, I guess, was the ultimate finish in the 80s.
Still is.
What other guys' finishes do you think are like you looking like, wow, that's a damn good finish and maneuver?
Oh, there's lots of them. I mean, I like Kurt Angle's angle lock. Why? Because he's established it. He's established it and stuck with it. The only thing I didn't like is when there for a while they had everybody getting to the ropes with it, or being able not giving up on it.
Right.
Here's a guy that has all the background in the world. You don't make it. Vince McMahon cannot make an Olympic champion. He tried. Mark Henry didn't quite make it, Vince. You tried to buy that one. Here's a guy that has all the background, all the talent in the world, and now you're going to turn him heel and make him an ass clown. What are you doing? You destroyed credibility. Here's a guy that you cannot make, you cannot buy. He's done it, man. A gold medalist. And does a great job in the ring. And you want to destroy it. Why? That's idiotic. It's insane.